Welcome to r/Tales from Tech Support, where we get to have a little chuckle at the technologically disadvantaged. Like me. I'm Uncle Reddit, and have I got a story for you. Well, here's somebody you haven't met yet. This is Quarter. Quarter sort of has that resting bee face. She's our epileptic cat. Yeah, let's read some stories. Sometimes simple solutions are the best. Long, long ago, in a galaxy far, far away, I worked for a computer company as a field tech and Tier 1 support for customers by phone if needed. My company had sold a system to a small-ish college in a medium-sized city in a neighboring state. I had never been to this site. I didn't even know it existed. This system was a small system, V Unix type, running on a small Motorola RISC system. At least I think that's what it was. A handful of dumb terminals and printers were connected with RS-232 serial connections, and system backups were done on a QIC60 external SCSI tape drive. Problem was, their backups were failing. I forget the exact error. I think there was a script that called CPIO and dumped to the tape device. Anyway, the support guys had sent out a replacement tape drive, and the customer was reporting the same problem, so they asked me to go on site and see if I could fix it. I figured I could either fly or drive. Drive would be about 5 hours. Flying would take longer since there were no direct flights. I had to fly past the city to the nearest hub, then fly back. No thanks, I'll drive. So I called the customer, got directions, scheduled the trip, and drove out the next day. It was fairly late by the time I got there, but I knew I was spending the night anyway, so I had them show what happened. Yes, they would stick a tape in the drive, kick off the script, and more than half the time it would fail. They had tried different tapes, all the stuff the help desk had asked them to try. These folks at the site were getting ready to go home, but I could stay since the door would lock behind me when I left, back in those innocent days. I played around with different tapes for a while, trying to see if there was a common thread to the failures, but I couldn't find one. Sometimes the tape would fail on the first try, and then work if I tried again. The original tape drive was still there, so I tried it and got similar results. They had different brands of tapes I could try, but it didn't make a difference. I was really scratching my head. However, I'd been doing this type of work for a while. In my college days, I'd worked in a stereo electronics shop doing repairs and sales. I was remembering that sometimes folks would have trouble with an audio cassette. You would fast forward it, then rewind it, and it would play normally. Same thing could happen on VCRs. I had never worked with a QIC60 device before, and I wasn't very familiar with the Unix at the time. But there was a manual with the system, so I found the section on tape device commands, and there was a tape command with a retention option. I've forgotten the actual syntax over the years, but I tried it out on one of the problem tapes, and the backup script ran fine. Tried a couple more tapes. They all worked. So I just edited the script to add the retention step, gave it one more test, which worked, and headed off to dinner. I told the help desk folks what I'd found, and they added the step to the script they supplied to other sites. This was one of the first customers to have this particular hardware, and apparently they hadn't seen this before. Well, I'm guessing it was easy. I'll take your word for it because, honestly, I have no idea half of what you just said. But I'll agree with the sentiment. Most of the time, it's the simple solution. You cannot use the old desktops. Use the new ones. My workplace had been replacing 2014-era desktop computers with new ones, in quotes. The old desktop specifications, i3 or i5 Haswell, 8 GB of RAM, SSD. The new desktops, in quotes, i3 Kaby Lake, 2017-era CPU, 4 GB of RAM. Removable media is banned at that workplace, so I can't use USB sticks for the Ready Boost, and hard disk drives. The company also uses security products where they use more than half a gig of RAM and half of the hard disk's disk I/O. For anyone that used Windows 10 on a HDD, you can imagine exactly how those computers run. The new desktops often took about a half hour for them to be usable enough to load a web browser, Excel, and Outlook. The old desktops only took a few minutes for the boot process, logging in and loading those applications. One day, the new desktop was stuck loading for over an hour, and that included a restart about 15 minutes into the first loading when it displayed a black screen. I told the IT department about it, and they told me to just keep waiting. They were definitely not interested in investigating the problem. I dumped that computer somewhere else and brought back the decommissioned, in quotes, old desktop. Fast forward a few weeks later, and IT had switched out my old desktop with the new one, and I had an email instructing me not to use the decommissioned desktop again. Of course, I printed out that email. When the new desktop was stuck loading for over an hour again, I decided to just browse the internet on my phone and find other things to do, while letting IT know every half hour or so about it being stuck loading. Every time they told me to just keep waiting. My supervisor and manager, both who had also been angry with the new computers, left me alone when I explained the instructions from IT. Record time was about 3 hours. I pulled up Task Manager at the 1 hour mark. It took about 20 minutes for the lock screen to appear, and another 20 minutes for Task Manager to finish loading. It showed the disk I/O usage was at 100%. The RAM usage was at about 95% usage. High number of compressed memory, and the CPU sitting at about 30%. Even my somewhat IT illiterate manager said, "What a pile of crap." The bad news is that most of the old desktops were already thrown away. The good news is that the IT department is potentially getting funds to buy new desktops in the next fiscal quarter. No idea what the hardware specs will be though. They're still going to stick with the security products though. But hey, why worry about ransomware when the security products make the slow computers too slow to run the malware? Good luck trying to encrypt or exfiltrate the files when the OS and the security products are trashing in the HDD. Yeah, it seems to me I've worked at quite a few places where bosses would upgrade our equipment. Computers, great. Yeah, they were newer and they were cheaper, but they were slower. I've had it with power tools too. Worked on one job where we had a really nice industrial drill press. The only thing wrong was we needed a couple of bearings, needed some grease, and a new belt, and it would have ran perfectly. Nope, Genius went out and got us a rigid brand drill press. Now, I like rigid tools, but for the application we were using, we destroyed that thing in about a month. Newer is not always better. Cheaper is almost never better. When they clearly haven't read anything. At my work, we have a text channel in Slack where people can ask their IT related questions. We're pretty high volume and each post is considered its own interaction. This person posted in this chat twice and another technician was helping him already with his first post. Me. Hi caller, I'm reaching out to you regarding your Slack post. It looks like another tech has picked up your previous post and there's been a ticket created for this here. Insert ticket number, please continue communication with them or refer to the ticket with any updates regarding your issue. Caller. Yes please. Me. Hi caller, can you reread my previous message? Based off your response, I'm not sure you understood what I sent you. No response. I can't tell you how many times I take my time to explain and lay it out for them, all in one concise, easy to read message, only for them to not read it and give me a response that has nothing to do with anything I just wrote. That sounds just like when I'm talking to my kids. In one ear and out the other. Hey Donovan, what time is it? No thanks, I'm not hungry. Okay. Good talk. Why didn't you tell me that? I work as phone tech support. I got a CX who had some network-based issue and various other issues, most of which I wasn't able to figure out because her answer to all of my probing question was, "It doesn't work," and some whining. It took me a couple minutes of increasingly verbose questions just to establish the phone was still turning on. So, a fun one. I established, after some more questions, her phone is not on Wi-Fi, and get her to tap on the network. It prompts for a password. This spawns a discussion of her insisting that it doesn't have a password, and that she never typed in a password, and that no one ever set up her phone and typed it in, etc. Eventually I convince her to go downstairs and read the side of her router. She gets downstairs and immediately insists there's no password. I get her to read it off and suddenly there's a password that she starts reading off to me. I advise her I don't need to know it and just type it into the phone. She then tells me she left the phone upstairs for some reason and was annoyed I didn't tell her to bring the phone with her to the router. Oh my god. Side note, I was previously given a dissatisfied survey by another customer for giving overly precise instructions. After she goes back upstairs to get the phone and type it in, it doesn't take the password. The customer winds up hanging up on me because she had convinced herself that the phone manufacturer, my company, had broken her phone because she had looked up the new line of models last night. Well, I can understand where you're coming from with that unfortunate timing, but if you just get the Wi-Fi password, we can get your phone back to normal. Lady, I didn't come here by bus. Click. I'm a guy. who introduced himself as Nathan, with not a very ladylike voice at all. Reminds me of Special Ed from Crank Anchors. Okay, lady! Do they still make that show? Something tells me not so much. Please text link to my phone, not my email, on my phone. We have a customer, let's call him Mr. X, who is very important to our organization. He's one of our biggest customers and loves us on top of that. A real win-win customer. For his 50th birthday, sales thought it would be a cool idea for employees to submit individual happy birthday videos to the customer. I thought it was cool, neat idea as well. The process was to create the video and send it to the salesperson. They will then compile all the videos and send to Mr. X on his birthday. I made my video, did a few edits, then sent the salesperson an email with the link to my video. I then received an email back from the salesperson asking me to text her the link so that she could have it on her phone. The eyebrow-raising part was that her email asking me to text her the link so she could have it on her phone said, "Sent from my iPhone" at the bottom. Perplexed, I responded, "The link is in my email and will work on your phone." She responded back, "Everyone's been texting me their videos. I need it texted to me so that I can be on my phone. Sent from my iPhone." I blinked a few times, grabbed my phone, went to my original email, copy and pasted the link, then texted her the link. She promptly responded with a "thank you" smiley face emoji. People are amazing, man. It just blows my mind that they don't understand it's the same link. You pulled it up on your phone regardless of whether you were in your email on your phone or texting on your phone. I don't know. There, now I feel better. It's like somehow they know it's a camera. When they give you sass for a dumb mistake. Just came across this Reddit channel and thought I'd share this experience I had with an employee who gave me a bit of sass when they were the ones making it hard on themselves, lol. Mind you, the guide says to download the required OKTA Verify app. Caller, can someone help me set up OKTA Verify on my phone? Me. Hi caller, I've reset your OKTA Verify. Go ahead and try to set it up again. Caller, thanks, can you send me these instructions again? Me. Sure. I send the setup guide. Caller sends a Slack call. Me. So sorry caller, I'm in a remote session with another employee at this time. I can give you a call after if you'd like. Caller, I don't see OKTA Verify set up right now. I mean bottom right, and now my OKTA is hung up. Wait, a screen just came up. Let me look at it. Me. Great, keep me posted. Caller, after I scanned the QR code on my phone, this is what came up in the VIP Access mobile app. She sends a screenshot. Honestly, it shouldn't be this hard. I have to get back to work. Lol. Me. You're using the wrong application. You have to use the OKTA Verify app. Is there a reason you're using VIP Access? Caller. Oops. I think I'm all set now. Me. Fantastic. So they really didn't read the instructions too well, or they just didn't comprehend that they needed the OKTA app. I'm not sure why they were going to the other one. Somebody must have told them something and they mixed the two up. That's all I can figure. Yes, hello. My phone stinks. I work the help desk of the German government, which means we get calls from both the offices of the MPs and the people working in the administration. Today was a very quiet day, as are all days before the storm that is Election Day. The phone rings. Lady from the administration. Me. Chakati here. How can I help you? Lady. Yes, hello. This is Redacted of the Redacted Department. I have a very strange problem. My phone stinks. Me. Reliving the guy who blinks in disbelief meme. I'm sorry, what? Lady. Yes, the receiver of my phone stinks. Unpleasant smell. It's rather an old device. I blinked several more times, wondering whether her predecessor had particularly bad breath. I returned to tired professionalism and record the incident, adding the details to send it to the phone people. Me. I sent a ticket so they'll switch it for a new one. Lady. Thanks, have a good day. As I ended the call and saved the ticket, I got up and told my colleague. They laughed, one in disbelief. Another suggested the phone people would send someone to smell test the device. I added that they might want to bring a dosimeter considering the age of some of the devices still in use here. What a fun day. So I just looked up dosimeter. I'm not making a connection here because it looks like it's for nuclear radiation monitoring. Like, were they expecting those old phone systems to put out radiation? Like that kind of radiation? You guys never let me down before, so Tell me about it in the comments down below. What am I missing here? Hey, do me a favor. Let's make Quarter happy and give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and click that little bell icon so you don't miss the fat guy and the cats reading these stories. See ya.